What's going on, guys? So I want to talk to you a little bit today about whether or not Disneyland and Disney World should stay closed up until 2021. I just came across this article and I want to take a quick moment here to just sort of read you some of what it says on here. Here we go. Things continue to look grim for Disneyland and the amusement park business as a whole. Disneyland closes doors in mid-March in the interest of public health. For just the fourth time in history, has remained shut down ever since. And if you actually go by Disneyland now, there's tons of signage out there telling you that the park is closed. They've actually even taken some parts of the sidewalk and closed that down so that you won't be able to even get close. I actually went over there trying to get a little bit of footage of it, and I just couldn't get close enough to really get any good footage. And I didn't want to just have one where I was walking around and just showing you the sign that said Disneyland's closed. But it's now expected that the park won't open for business again until January 2021. And even if it does, there will be major changes and much smaller crowds one way or the other. Now, I don't think that Disneyland and Disney World have to do this. The sooner that we can possibly get safely to a sense of normalcy, the better. Right now, we are seeing just people going crazy insane with just not being able. It's like not being able to do things like they would that they would not just normally do, but just feel free enough. Like we're living in a country where we're free to do the things that make us happy. So much of that has been taken away, and I definitely understand the reasoning behind it. But there has to be sort of a way forward, a path forward that has not really been seen. So much stuff is up in the air right now that it's almost like it's like going to prison and then not knowing whether you're going to be serving life or serving a year. Can you imagine how that year would feel if you didn't know if you were serving a life sentence or not, right? And this is a prison that we didn't put ourselves in. We didn't commit any crimes in order to get to this point. It just so happened that a virus came and sort of hijacked our country and our lives. So I believe that they should reopen maybe mid-July or August. And I have a sort of a way that I think would work to keep it safe and at the same time allow people to at least get a day up in Disneyland or in a Disney World and feel like they can have fun and live life again. So a new report did a deep dive on what is going on in the theme park industry behind the scenes, and the reports note that UBS, a Swiss banking giant, told its clients that Disney likely won't be reopening its theme parks until January 1st. That would mean a total shutdown of nearly 9 months. Says once Disneyland and Disney World do open their doors once again, it will be a dramatically different experience to help stick with social distancing guidelines, especially that capacity will be heavily limited at the parks. Not only that, but many industry analysts believe that theme park attendance will take a big dip anyway, as many people will not be eager to gather outside in large crowded areas for some time. I think that is very true. A lot of people are going to self-police their way into not going into Disneyland at Disney World, and that's perfectly fine. Whatever you want to do with yourself in order to protect yourself, that's great. Some people are more just, hey, they don't believe it. They think, they're free willy-nilly to do whatever they want. This is what I think, and I'm not going to continue to read this article right here. Please, if you want to, the website is MovieWeb. They have the article up here. It's an article by Ryan Scott. Read through this whole thing and see what you feel about this. But this is what I think they could do in order to open up a little bit sooner than later. Number one, obviously, the park has an enormous amount of capacity. They're pretty big parks, especially Walt Disney World. What we could do is limit that capacity down. Because if you've ever gone to Disney World, you could see people are just sort of slammed together in certain areas. Well, you can limit that capacity. And once you do, you limit that, people can spread out as far as they want and keep a 6-foot distance from each other, which is perfectly fine. Now, on the rides themselves, what they can actually do is they could take the trains and have that capacity. So let's say you go to Space Mountain or something like that. Instead of you don't have as many people now waiting for rides and everything like that. So you could take it and you can say, a 6-car train, you'll sit 1, 2, 3, and then 3 empty. That's one way to try to keep that distance away from each other. Number 2 is they can mandate the wearing of face masks, of medical face masks, or medical type face masks in the park. That'll work out. And in order to get to make sure that you have a certain cap on there, you can have what consider a lottery system. You don't want 10,000 people showing up and then the max capacity is 1,000 people. What you can do is before the day comes, you can have a sort of a lottery. So let's say I know that I want to go to the park on May 3rd. What I can do is I can enter the lottery for May 3rd, and we can have 2 shifts, 2 6-hour shifts, where they could say, okay, from, we open at 8 a.m. to whatever time 6 hours after that is, you can stay in the park. That'll be about 2 o'clock. And then from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, they could have a break period where they'll go around the park doing some cleaning and so forth on some of the areas. And then from 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock, they'll have the second shift. So you'll have 2 lotteries that you can go into. And then once you get yourself on there, and it's going to be packed. I mean, it's going to be slammed with people who are trying to get into this lottery. But what you're going to have to do is give yourself a few days where you're going to say, before, you call out of work, you're going to have to say, I got May 3rd, May 5th, and they can do it a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance to try to get into this, into the park. And then you have a 6-hour limit there where you could, enjoy all the rides, do all the things that you want to normally do at Disneyland or Disney World. And they can do this for Disneyland. They can do this for California Adventure, the 2 shifts thing. And then maybe what you want to do is that Disneyland is going to be kind of hit hard in the morning, right? Because, a lot of parents, they want to do everything in the morning. So what you'll do is you'll enter into the lottery for California Adventure in the morning, and then enter the lottery for Disneyland in the afternoon and try to work it out that way. So in the morning, doing 6 hours in California Adventure, and then in the afternoon, you can take a little 2-hour break, and you can do another 6 hours there in Disneyland. And that's a way that they can really, really look after the safety of their park guests and continue to provide the service and get people back into work. And this is the sort of things that needs to be done in a lot of different industries right now and can be done thanks to the internet. The internet has given us the ability to do this. We should take advantage of that and get people back working and get people back in the parks in a safe way. Now, do I sit there and I say, let's just wholesale open up everything? Absolutely not, because we do need to be able to balance out our economic interests and our physical well-being. And that is one of the ways where you could do that. You don't have to be as extreme as shutting the entire park down, but you can be smart about how you do things. And I think that that's a great way to go ahead and try to do it. That puts the onus back on the people to make the decision themselves of when and how they want to do this. If your park can hold 5,000 people, 10,000 people, 20,000 people, limit that to about 10 to 20% of the amount, 30% at the highest, so that it gives people inside of the park enough space from each other, and then do it that way. Each line you can have 6 foot distances between. On each ride, you can space people out in a way that they're not on top of each other during the ride, and you can mandate face masks and gloves if you wanted to. I don't think gloves are that big of a deal, but you can mandate face masks and gloves and make sure that all your park guests are safe while they're having a good time and at least enjoying some sense of normalcy in this world. So that's it for today on this one. When do I think Disneyland, Disney World should reopen? I think they should reopen by July, August. And that area definitely should get back to, we should start working towards getting back to feeling normal. That's exactly what I hope they do in order to get us back in that sense. It's obviously it's not the most normal, but that's what I think they should do in order to get us back to enjoying the lives that we have. Because we only got one, baby. So guys, obviously there's going to be some people that disagree. They want complete total shutdown. Go ahead and leave your comment on the bottom. Be respectful. And if you do agree, or if you have a better idea, please leave it down in the comment below, because I want to hear it. And I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you again really soon. Bye, guys.